had the darshan of Mahavatar Babaji when I was 5 years old actually, but I didn't know who he was. I ate some poisonous seeds and I was brought to the hospital. So he turned with his finger behind and said, "You see the light, that's you."
What would your answer be to those people who come to you and say that, why cannot I see God physically?
Only when, one is ready, one will see him. If you have that bhakti, if you have that devotion and you have that selfless love, Bhagavan by himself will come. Like Bhagavan Krishna said in the Gita, those who have surrendered to me, even Maya doesn't touch them.
Is there a way to end the cycle of reincarnation where we don't have to return back to this plane? And what exactly happens during the process of death?
What is death? There's nothing what is called death.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaskar.
Thank you for being on our podcast, Under the Tree. We started this podcast with the sole mission of actually spreading spirituality, talking to spiritual leaders like yourself. Personally, when I realized that understanding one's true nature can really liberate you from many of the sufferings we go through, this really became a mission. So I'm very grateful to have you here.
It's beautiful because you see, this is what is needed. Some positiveness in this world.
Yes, I want to start off with the fundamental question of our existence, which is, who am I? That is the first question that popped up in front of me when I started studying a lot of Vedantic scriptures and texts. I love asking specifically spiritual leaders who are helping millions of people like yourself this question. So please go ahead.
See, this is a question which is deep in itself. Our whole philosophy, Hindu philosophy, is based upon that, getting to know who you are. Firstly, from my point of view, I will say you have to be a good human being. We can say, yes, we are Atma, yet not many people have realized that Atma aspect. You have realized that you are a human being, but what you can bring firstly to this world, how you can influence this world, is by being a better human being. You can't become divine without being a good human being. So for me personally, when you say who we are, yes, we have to come to the point of realizing our Atma through our sadhana, of course, through our deep meditation and really longing. This is the prime things. But above all, we have to be a good human being. And if we are not a good human being, we can't adventure in the spiritual path. We can't enter the realm of spirituality. Then we stay only in the realm of human understanding only. Because to dive into that depth of spirituality is to transcend the mind itself. When we look at it from the mind point of view, it's very difficult. We see only everything which is limited. So, firstly, if we want to know ourselves, we have to engage ourselves with the positivity of what awake inside of us.
I love how you said that. It's such a coincidence because just yesterday I was reading something about, I think it's called Chit Shuddhi, which means a purification of course, and in that text I figured out that when we talk about any path of Vedanta, like you said, if you don't want to just understand from the mind, one has to do the Karam Yoga, one has to do satsangs, one has to purify the mind. Then
the
only
mind
this
have to
truth
engage
gets
in
revealed.
satsang. Without satsang, there's no purification. And this is one thing which very often spiritual people also don't get it. They think that, yes, we can just sit and meditate, and just by that we will come to a point of realization. It took Buddha 16 years to reach to that point itself. So it will not just happen like this. Well, it can happen also like this also, you have work. We believe in reincarnation. We have work through countless of life, and it can manifest like that. So, like, for example, for me, how it happened, it just one day to the other. I never even thought about spirituality. Like I grew up normal with everybody. But something happened when I was 14 years old, one day to the other. There was a different shift.
Can you please let me go through that story with you? Because I've heard bits of it somewhere. But it's very curious for me because you're an inspiration, because I think you were actually born, you weren't born in India, I believe, right?
Your family I'm not born in India, born in Mauritius through Indian family, of course. I'm fifth generation in Mauritius from my great-great-grandfather from Bihar.
I want you to go through your story. And before you start, I just a little bit about maybe something you would like to know is that just a few years back, because I've been in India, even though I'm born and brought up in New York, I've been in India for a few years just because of my spiritual calling here. And just a couple of years ago, I went through a program from someone who is also a devotee of Mahavatar Babaji. And we went through the whole process of Shakti Path, of having that transmission. And we went through a lot of phases. It was very powerful. I don't know how to explain it just in words, but I know you've talked about this as well before. But I really want you to talk a little bit about your interactions with Mahavatar Babaji, because and his connection with Lord Krishna. I'm a Krishna devotee myself. He's my Ish.
Yes, so this is one thing which very often intrigues people, because this is two different paths. One is path of Hatha Yoga, the other is Bhakti path,
That's how I got very confused as well when I.
No, actually, there's no separation. Once you have transcended this material reality, once you have transcended this dogmatic reality, which very often our mind is attached to, actually what is the mind attaching is the ego, which is attaching itself, to ideas and how. So once you have transcended that, then everything is only Bhagwan himself now. So you perceive that divinity in everything, in every aspect of it. And that is where Mahavatar Babaji is also situated, It's not about the technique. Technique is just on the outside we do it. Yes, we do Kriya, which Mahavatar Babaji have asked me to spread, to the world in 2001. He asked me, and I said, no, I'm not going to. And then 2005, I decided, okay, fine. That is 20 years ago. I decided, okay, fine, it is time. He asked me again in 2005. I said, okay, fine, I will teach Kriya. So this is how Mahavatar Babaji approached me, well, not approached me. He came to me already when I was very small, as being the Sadguru.
When you mean come to you, for people who might not know, you mean that you had his darshan, even though he's left his body for a long time, but you had a darshan of him.
I had the darshan of Mahavatar Babaji when I was 5 years old, actually, but I didn't know who he was. And I ate some poisonous seeds, and I was brought to the hospital. I'm sure you have heard about the story. I was brought to the hospital, and then there, the doctor have done what they have to do, and then there was this fellow outside, long hair, and was giving sweets to all the children. So I approached him, and I remember I asked him, "Why are you here?" And then he said to me, "I'm here for all the children, especially for you." He held my hand, and he placed in my hand 1 sweet and 1 rupee. Mauritian rupee, because I was born in Mauritius. So, and just to cut the story short, then because what made me very interesting, when I think about it, why did I ask him, why are you here? It's a strange question in itself. And I was looking at him, and then without turning behind, with his finger, he pointed behind and said, "Do you see the light?" Now, he asked me a question first. The same question that you just asked, do you know who you are? Exactly the yeah. He asked me this question: do you know who you are? At 5 years old, didn't even understand the question. At least to say yes. No, I didn't even understand what he wanted. So I didn't answer him. So he turned with his finger behind and said, "Do you see the light?" I was looking, which light is he talking about? Could not see any light. Then he bent down and looked in my eyes. I said, "Look properly." The second time when I looked, I saw this ball of light, very bright, and surrounded with a disc of light. And I don't know how long that was. What I could hear only was, "That's you." And then when I came back, he said, "I have to go now." He just lifted his hand and he disappeared.
It almost reminds me of that story where Lord Shiva asks Hanumanji, do you know who you are? And he gives a lot of answers, like, "I'm the son of Anjani," and all these things. And
yeah, but this is the scenery of outside.
But that's, wow. That's a very, very transformative story. I need to ask you this. When, it's a very direct question. It says, what is the way to enlightenment? It's a very direct question.
And the answer is, love is the way to direct enlightenment. Like I was saying to Aryan earlier, the definition of love, what we understand of love and what is love, we have put love so low. Actually, love is what is the supreme reality itself. So we focus on the little aspect of itself, only. When we have deep, that ultimate aspect inside of us, So when we can define love, love can't be defined by word, because it is beyond definition. It's without beginning and without end. And love is something that keeps increasing. When we talk about spiritual love, it is something which keeps increasing. It don't diminish. It is not, today it is here, tomorrow it is not there. No, it is always there.
You have, you are, your Aishta, I think, is also Lord Krishna, Radha Krishna. When we talk about the aspect of suffering, spirituality is very, very, it seems like it's a very easy thing when everything is going good in life and you have that faith in God. But when suffering arises in life, or I wouldn't use the word suffering, but when problems come in life, at that moment, suddenly that goes away, because either the faith gets lost in God, or it's very difficult to actually implement those teachings when you need it the most. How do you battle that?
Actually,
I think this is irrelevant for everyone.
It is not true. That's why I always say, take the life of the saints as example. Take the life of Mirabai, for example. Her life was not that easy. What she had to go through, how people treated her. People smacked her, people spat on her. People called her by so many names. Did her faith decline? Diminish? Not at all. It kept increasing. Actually, what she said, she said, when people treated me like that, I'm thinking more of you. It's reminding me of the prayer of Kunti. After the war of Mahabharata, when Krishna came, she cursed Bhagavan Krishna. And then he said, "Forgive me. It is my heart which is, painful. That's why I utter such word. But I ask you one thing. Please bless me with endless trouble, but I never forget about you." And I imagine that faith that she said that, Imagine the life of the saints, but what they have to go through. It's not an easy thing,
They have to go through a lot of tapasya when they're doing their practices to be able to realize.
Never let go. You see, when you are sincere in your spiritual path, no matter what comes, you will see it as given by Bhagavan. That is bhakti. Those which is on the path of bhakti, those who have forged that relationship with God, for them, they receive everything as His grace.
I have two kind of follow-up questions to this. One is that, for you, Guruji, you're very fortunate and you had the grace of receiving the darshan of someone like Mahavatar Babaji. But for a lot of common people, they are not able to see God, right? That is the main question, that we cannot physically see Him. We have not really gotten His darshan. There are maybe 1% of people who have, not even 1%, who have had like near-death experiences who can actually see God. So what would your answer be to those people who come to you and say that, why cannot I see God physically?
God is with everybody, It's not that we can't see Him. We can see Him in the beauty which He have created all around, which He have infused Himself all around. When we start to appreciate what we have, we start to feel Him. Seeing Him is only for His grace. Only when, one is ready, one will see Him. But that is also not happen just like that, We can be a very good person. We can try to help a lot of people, all this stuff. But yet we have an expectation behind, So that expectation itself will make a big difference. In the Narada Bhakti Sutra, the story of Narada is very interesting. So Narada has started his spiritual journey. In his first life, he was meditating upon Srimad Narayana, and he got a glimpse of Srimad Narayana. Just a fraction of a second, Bhagwan appeared in front of him. But that was enough to desire again, I want him more. And that was his heart desire. And then he intensely meditate and chanting, and so he did his penance instantly. So Bhagwan appeared a second time to him and said, because of that desire itself, I would have not come. But through your devotion, I came. But because of that desire, just that desire, you have to take incarnation again 84 times. This is how the Narada Bhakti Sutra came into existence. So each life, he gave one sutra for it, one verse of bhakti. So just in that story itself, said that what stops us of seeing Bhagwan is our own desire. Let's say, for example, when we ask people, where is God firstly in your life? Now, this is one thing. When we want Him, we want to see Him, we have a devotion. Where is He? In which stage is Bhagwan? How is my longing for Him? Because Bhagwan will show Himself. The Sadguru, the saints, they will show themselves only when we have tuned ourselves to their level. If we have valued everything else firstly, then we can't expect Bhagwan to manifest Himself or any other aspect of the... So first we have to mature ourselves. Our sadhana help to purify ourselves, to cleanse ourselves, and to set us on the right direction. So it's not about desiring, yes, I have the desire to see God, God have to show Himself to me. So first we have to purify ourselves, cleanse our heart, cleanse our mind. So once we have cleansed ourselves, firstly through our sadhana, Bhagwan by His own accord will come. That's why we see in the life of all the great saints, Take, for example, Pundalik from Maharashtra, such a great saint from Pandharpur. Lord Krishna Himself came running to him because he had that devotion. He was serving his mother and father. Mother Anasuya, from the Bhagavad, you can see Mother Anasuya, how she had great devotion to her husband. the Trimurti came and they became Dattatreya. Saint Savatamali, he was a gardener. He didn't do big penance, nothing. He just, for him, was always chanting the name of Vittala. He was always absorbed in chanting the name of Vittala. Bhagwan came running to him. Gaurakumbha, the same. He crushed his son just by chanting it. But then Bhakti, Bhagwan Vitthal came and served. So like that, you see, when we look at the richness of what the saints' life have, is an example, actually. We want to do big things, to attract God, to make Him manifest. No, it's not like that. In the simplicity of your heart, if you have that bhakti, if you have that devotion, and you have that selfless love, Bhagwan by Himself will come.
Wow. That's given me a lot of confidence. Whenever sometimes when problems come, this is that one question that comes in my mind, because there's always, even though my faith remains, but sometimes there's a time when it goes away because you realize, and that's where my second question is coming from. That Krishna, we all call this is Krishna's divine play or Leela happening. But why, when we talk about there is so much suffering in the world on a more geopolitical level also, but even in our personal lives, whether it's financial, whether it's our dealing with it, there's so much suffering. How can we just say that it is Krishna's Leela and people are suffering? Like I said previously, if you are centered in Bhagwan, then you will see that everything is from Him. Every little aspect what is happening into your life, you will, even if it is not, you will always say, this is the nature of a bhakta. A bhakta will perceive Bhagwan in everything what they do, wherever they are. In whatever situation come, they will perceive Bhagwan. And that is their faith into it. It's not just a belief, because belief come and go. Isn't that what you were just saying earlier? That is a belief. Very often people believe this. Tomorrow somebody come and tell you, oh, it's wrong, that belief this one is better. You will change your belief. Belief keep changing. But when you have faith, nobody can really shake your faith. Not even problem, the worst kind of problem will come. It will not shake your faith. And this is a big difference between believing and having faith itself. In faith, you're anchored. Nothing can move you. But in belief, yes, you believe because as it suits you, Something doesn't go away, you can change your belief. You can change your, whatever you want to do. So that's why the difference is that when people have problems, because of the belief only. They don't have faith. I would not consider that as faith. I would say no. If somebody have faith in any situation, they will. I know devotees, who is going for terminal cancer, but their faith is amazing. And today that person is still alive because of their faith. They can call it a miracle or whatever they want, But for me, that is the faith. When doctor have said already years that they have to die, they're still alive. Their own doctor who was treating them said, okay, you don't have so long, you have only a few years to live, you will die. That person is still alive and the doctor is already dead. It's just that faith itself, when you have faith, nothing can move you. But if you just belief is so shallow, But faith is knowing that Bhagwan is with you. God is with you. And when you have such knowing, you can't say, no, I don't know about it. That is, that's a very, very, very powerful explanation that you just gave. So I think for everyone, whenever a negative situation, or you think a negative situation is coming, Baba Ramdas, he was a devotee of Neem Karoli Baba. He used this phrase called fierce grace. So even when he got a stroke and for 20 years he was paralyzed, at that time, someone asked him that, did you lose faith in your guru or in Hanuman, your God? And he says, no, it was a grace. It was grace that
It's
this
funny you're
even had
talking
to
about Baba
happen.
Ramdas. Some devotee just visited this morning itself, his ashram.
Oh, amazing. Wow. My next question is something that you can explain it in brief, because I know it's a little bit, what is Maya and why does it feel that Maya is in a way trapping us and teases us at some time? Like sometimes when we feel like we've got the ultimate truth, we know what's happening, we know why we're here, something happens that you feel like it's not letting you, it's making you trapped again in the material world and all the chaos that's happening. So what is Maya?
Maya, delusion. Where does delusion come from? Delusion comes from the mind. Mind is Maya. Maya is not just this illusionary world outside which say, okay, everything is Maya, everything will come. Then it's not true. Because as everything is real, very often when somebody said, oh, I am not the body, you just pinch the person. Are you not the body? Then you don't need to feel anything. So you see, our whole understanding of Maya is wrong. Maya is not there to stop us. Actually, she is there to strengthen us. That again, you see, how I perceive it and how other people perceive it is completely different. One can say, yes, it is an illusion, that's it, finish with that, But can somebody go out of that? No, you are in this world itself, and this world is hers. But beyond that, there is also one reality, which is Narayana, which she herself serves, So which one is your focus? Your focus is on Maya and her trap, or Srimad Narayana. Like Bhagavan Krishna said in the Gita, those who have surrendered to me, even Maya doesn't touch them. So Bhagavan said, those who surrender to me. So this is the most important thing, But we have to come to the point of surrendering that mind at the lotus feet of Srimad Narayana. If we surrender that mind to the feet of the Sadguru and Sri Hari, we'll be free from that delusion itself. So here I'm using Maya, mind. No? So how many mind do you have?
One.
One mind. Where do you want to put that one mind?
On God.
Exactly. So this is the wiseness of it, But we put that one mind in so many things. And then when everything collapses upon oneself, who we blame?
God.
Exactly. So who is creator of all this problem? Ourselves. We create our own misery. We swim in our own misery, but we have to blame God for it. And that is Maya. Because we are so delusional that we don't even perceive that we have created all this problem. And then we want God to solve this problem for us. And out of His mercy, He's always available. He always gives His hand. But we are like a miser, who always like to take and take. We don't, Bhagavan said, here, I'm giving my hand to you. A play of words. A miser will never give his hand because he will always take. Bhagwan is hand in his hand are there. But we are the Maya, we like to just take. So this is why we get trapped into that. When we look at the world itself, we just sit there with a calm mind and observe. If our mind is just on the lowest level here itself, we'll be in trouble. But if we elevate our mind, let's say you go on a mountain and you sit there, what do you see? You don't perceive the chaos of what you see when you are down. You perceive the whole world differently. So when you go higher up, you look down, everything is so small, you don't perceive anything. There's calm, you will see everything. Calm, shanti, and everything else, There's no problem. But the moment you bring your mind back to this reality, you start looking at this reality, and then you perceive the problem. So elevate your mind. That is the point.
I would like to ask you about the concept of death. I know earlier you mentioned reincarnation and how we have to come back every single time. Is there a way to end the cycle of reincarnation where we don't have to return back to this plane? And what exactly happens during the process of death?
So reincarnation, now the cycle of birth and death endlessly. The only way to really move out of that is to realize yourself. Then where you will go, either due to your devotion, to your love, you will go to that space. If your bhakti is strong, you will elevate yourself to the realm of Vaikuntha, Goloka. And there you will eternally be present with Bhagwan, serving him. Because you see, in the path of bhakti, our life is a life of service. And that service is Nitya Seva, which is eternal service. We serve Bhagwan here, and that is our nature of service. We carry on serving him wherever we are. So whether it is in Vaikuntha or Goloka, you will acquire your spiritual body to serve him. Well, this is a physical body only. And the physical body will stay here because it's made with the 5 elements and will stay here. Some great being, they have even taken their body with them. Mirabai, she disappeared into the vigraha of Bhagwan, Girdhar Gopal. Tukaram, Bhagwan came and take him. So like that, you see, that shows that, yes, we can also transcend, For example, Mahavatar Babaji is still here in his body. For at least 5,000 years he have been here.
Is there anything to be afraid of about death or the process of death? And when we die, where exactly do we go afterwards? A lot of people say we go to heaven or we go to the place of God or Golok or Vaikuntha. So what exactly does that process look like? And are there different realms or dimensions? So if you could elaborate a little bit about, where we go after this lifetime, that would be really helpful.
To enter that site, you have to become blissed here. It's not waiting, but once I died, I go to the other side, then I will be blissful. But this is the mindset of people. They think that yes, we are doing our spirituality here, and but we don't even know where we are going. No, but firstly, like I always say, one thing that I always say: make heaven here, make Vaikuntha here. When you have made your heaven here, your Vaikuntha here, your Goloka here, Bhagwan will be all around you, You don't need to go there to see him. You will see him now all around. Recognize that in his creation, he is present. love him, love and respect other people. Like he said, I am the indweller of everybody. So learn to respect that. Learn to see. But tell this to yourself continuously. What reside inside of me also reside in them. I'm not telling you that you have to go there and hug everybody and tell them that you love them. No. But your attitude, is very important. There's one thing that I always laugh about, death. What is death? There's nothing what is called death. Even scientifically itself, death don't exist. It all become molecules, then I all become, as an electron, proton, it go back again into nature. That is what Bhagavan Krishna said, you're eternal. Every aspect of yourself is eternal. Even this body is eternal. It will take different aspect, it will take different form, but it will remain here. It will come back into the energy aspect. So there is no need to be scared of death.
A lot of our audience members, Guruji, are very interested in meditation and the path of meditation. A lot of our questions that come in are about Samadhi or attaining an out-of-body experience. But I want you to talk about what exactly the goal should be when we're talking about this concept of having an out-of-body experience, seeing the light. What should that main goal be at the end of the day, even if we are doing these practices?
Firstly, to do that, you need a guru who have himself firstly experienced that and knows how to help you into that. Because it can be very dangerous. Very often I have seen people, they disconnect completely from the reality and they become very ungrounded. And that is very dangerous. Because you see, they like the word Samadhi, you like the word realization, but they don't know what it is, It is beautiful words, moksha, liberation, Samadhi, but these things should not be forced. If it happened naturally, let it happen naturally. For me, that have happened naturally. No. It's not something that I was 14 years old. I have heard even about the state of Samadhi. No, didn't hear about it. Years later, I found out, yes, okay, that was what I experienced about it. I have never wanted to wear this, I never, this is a question that very often people ask me, are you always wanted to be a guru? No, never. You wanted... You see, the thing is that I just flow with life, It's not something that I want this or I want that, I never have wanted anything. When we started 20 years back, actually, in a small place in Germany, we started. That also a few people came together and we started a small ashram. And that also was not in my plan. I said, Bhagwan always, it is your plan. Whatever you want, you do that. Until now, he have given, and ask, he give. I never had this, this desire, yes, I want to have an ashram here, I want to have this, I want to have that. No, never. I didn't even think about one day, but I have to become a guru or this. No, to wear. You see, when I was young, to wear kurta, I was so shy. I remember once I was 11 years old, and there was a Satyanarayana Katha puja at my mom dad place, and I would just want they bought a kurta to wear for that, for opening a house and for a wedding. All that there's all. I said no, I wear normal clothes. I said no, you have to wear kurta. I was so shy even just to wear kurta. I remember the first time I wear a dhoti itself, I was shaking. I was 14, 15 years old. But that how things evolve and flow with it,
Although there are many stories of Lord Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita, from many other texts, if there is one story that you can talk about to our audience that can really practically help them, especially when they're going through negative situations, when they're going through problems in their life where faith is so much needed, one story from Lord Krishna that can really inspire them.
For me, Radha and Krishna represent that union between Atma and Paramatma. That union between nature and Bhagwan. And this is Srimati Radharani represent that ultimate aspect of bhakti. And once we have reached to that ultimate aspect of bhakti, Bhagwan will reveal itself. Bhagwan is our dearness, So when Srimati Radharani, that relationship that she have with Bhagwan Krishna, and that is what our relation has to be. So we have to become like Srimati Radharani in our devotion and surrender to Shri Hari.
A lot of people consider this world a suffering, but when we talk about bhakti, the path of bhakti, we say this is Krishna's Leela or a divine play going on. How can these two things go hand in hand?
You see, when Bhagwan came, even if he was Bhagwan, he also showed that we have to accept life. In each aspect of his life, he accepted whatever was coming to him. They blame him for so many things, but he accepted. And this is one thing that we have to learn from him, the aspect of acceptance. And the moment we learn to accept, then we perceive the grace of Shri Hari. Prasad is very important in our life, when you do Satyanarayana Puja, I don't know whether you have done that.
Yeah, I have heard.
The whole story that they talk is the glory of Bhagwan's Prasad. Like at the beginning itself, it said, even if you have done the puja, you have not received the prasad, something bad will happen. Actually, it is not because they want something bad to happen to you. We have to understand that whatever have been offered to Bhagwan, the moment Bhagwan touched it, he infused his whole potency inside it. So the prasad that we receive, actually we are receiving Bhagwan himself. So that's why it is very important. So the respect must be there, when we are receiving that prasad.
That acceptance, that surrender, I think is a right word.
No, but it is part of Bhagwan himself, the remnant of Bhagwan's Mahaprasad, or the remnant of the Sadguru. It is that wonder and miracle have happened. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, there was one instant that he was invited with all his disciples, and they were for Bandara. They were given food, and then the leftover was thrown out. And some dogs was happily eating. So they will look at the Mahaprabhu, then one of them asked, they are eating all the food. I said, yes, they know what is better. Because the remnant of the saints have the grace into it. So Mahaprasad of Bhagwan have the grace of Bhagwan himself inside it. And that we should always treat it with great respect. When Bhagwan come, in your life, and how he changed your life. I remember somebody asked me, somebody was given a Laddu Gopal also, and how her life changed. There was not a time, but before, how she was worshipping and all this, but the service, that nature of service awake inside of her the moment she starts serving Bhagwan Krishna. And it's so beautiful when the heart transform. I remember when Giridhar Gopal came to me, actually, you see, the deity which I'm worshipping is the Thakurji which belonged to Mirabai. Actually, is the original deity which Mirabai used to carry with her. And how that have come to me, it's amazing. Because you see, the story of Mirabai I heard from my grandma since I was small, and I was always wondering, where is this great deity, which Mirabai used to carry with her? And I wanted to have darshan of and once of our trip, we were traveling North India, and as we were in the bus, I felt there's a temple for Krishna. And I asked, and the lady said, yes, there's a Krishna temple. Yeah, that's it. She just showed the way. So while we were going there, I asked the driver of the bus, because we have 250 people in the bus. We were 2 buses of people. I said to the bus, listen, there's a Krishna temple in that road. Please, can you go? He said, yes, but Baba, but you don't know how far is it. It can be like half a day driving. That Krishna temple will be there. I said, let's try. So we drove for about half an hour. And the road was getting smaller and smaller. Finally, we reached to a deserted place. And there was a castle, all ruined. And it was written in Hindi, this is the place where the deity, the Krishna temple is there. And the deity into which Mirabai disappeared into is there. The moment I heard that, I started running. I went up there. The pujari was closing the temple. I said, please open. So I didn't even tell the people. So 2 buses of people, all Westerners, all the devotees start running also behind me. So the pujari saw all these people behind. He got shocked, and then he said, okay, fine. He opened, and let us have darshan of the Krishna into which Mirabai disappeared. And I have this curiosity. Please, is there any things which left from Mirabai? Because we have a museum here in Germany, which have all the relics of all Hindu saints, things that the saints have used. I brought it here, and it is a blessing for everybody to receive. So I said, please, we have this museum. Can you please give something for that? And said, look, he showed me these things here belong to Mirabai. That is because when Mirabai was there, she carried saligram and few things with her. This have been there. And I said, okay, I just got the story short, that I would like to have something for Mirabai. I said, not possible. Only the president can decide, And they said, but please tell us where the president is. And so she's sick, she's not here. At the same moment, you can hear a lady say, what is happening? What does he want? And they said, this is the lady. I said, okay, he wants something from Mirabai. I said, give him whatever he wants. So he was shocked, he was shaking. Then I look and I saw Thakurji, Giridharji. I said, I want that deity. I said, not possible. That is the Giridhar Gopal which Mirabai was carrying. It's not possible. And then we were arguing. And then again the lady said, what is the problem now? I said, we want Giridhar Gopal. Then she said, well, I told you to give whatever he's asking. So this is how Giridharji came now. And it's true, the moment he came, everything changed. There's a story that happened. One princess came to visit, and she fell madly in love with the Vigraha of Banka Bihari. And when she left, she was sick and she was missing Krishna. She was missing the aspect of Bihariji. But you see, Bhagwan also respond back to the same bhav, the same rest which is burning inside. No? So he also was missing. So he left by his own Yogmaya. He went to the princess. So in Vrindavan, they were looking for the Vigraha of Banka Bihari, could not find. So finally they heard that Thakurji is at that prince's place. So they all went there to take him. Bhagwan come, to those who he will, Because I was explaining to that just a few days ago. You see, our relationship with Bhagwan, we have forget about it, but he don't forget about. Life after life, he pull us closer and closer to him. And how he come, he come sometimes through the reminder of the Sadguru, sometimes through a reminder of a problem. So he find his way,
Thank you so much, Guruji, for coming on to the show. I'm so glad that we were able to get clarity on so many topics. A lot of these requests came in from our audience members. Looking forward to hosting you again on the podcast as well. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Jai Gurudev.